Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to Season 6 of Pint Series. We are at Zolder this week. Full grid, I believe. We're close to it. What we got? 40 cars. 40 cars on a very, very short track with a lot of chicanes. So I fully expect this to be a as we call, a poop show.
Yeah,
and
so we
always,
have
Chris is here with me, unfortunately.
yeah, hi. Thanks for that stunning introduction.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought you were gonna go on vacation or something.
I feel super welcome after all the work I did all week to make sure this was all set up for you to come in the last 5 minutes and steal the thunder. Awesome.
Dude, get used to it.
Yeah. I'm second chair.
Damn right. I mean, we also have Nick.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Paul.
Not
Great
Alvarado,
to be
Nick,
here with you.
because nobody
I
cares
think.
about Alvarado.
Yeah, this is the real Nick. This is Nick Cahoot. I believe I'm saying that right.
It's close enough.
Close enough. Fair enough.
How do you
Close
say
enough
your last name? I swear to God, I butcher it every time.
My family says it Kohout, but it's
Kohout.
Czech,
Kohout.
and the Czech people say Kahoot. So they say Kohout.
At least it's not Polish.
So
there's no Polish people in here. If
So
you
Nick-
are, I'm sorry.
Nick, you were registered for the series and you dropped out to give somebody else a spot
That's true.
because you weren't able to make every race. So, very, very nice thing to do. Big ups on that.
I'm
So-
not completely out. I am engineering of sorts for one of the drivers.
Yeah, you have
Oh.
a team, don't you?
Yes, it's a loose team, a technical partnership.
How much is he paying you?
I think there's going to be a case of beer sent my way.
Ooh,
I was gonna say, wait, you guys are getting paid?
right.
What am I doing?
We're into season 2 of broadcasting. We haven't got paid yet.
Right? If anything, I haven't. Man, I should get paid.
First lap time is up on the board, a 1:31.6, which is really solid for the AM class.
Yeah, Cody with the first time 131, not bad. Looks like
So
it's
Nick-
2 seconds clear of 3 seconds clear of most, everyone. Impressive in a Honda too. I haven't really driven the Honda other than for the meme races at Alton Park, but from what I understand, it is not a very happy car.
Well, the Honda can be tricky here, especially because the Honda's fastest when you can get that front splitter as close to the ground as possible, but there are curbs here that you need to go over. So it's always a tough compromise between making sure the curbs don't yeet you into the barriers and generating downforce.
Yeah, that first chicane, I'm used to doing it in a Bentley to where I can just glide over basically all of the curb. Most of the time I even get a warning or a track cut. But I can't imagine the Honda, that's a very easy corner to do.
I'm willing to bet we see more than one drive-through today.
Yes. I fully agree with that.
Track cuts aplenty.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we don't get at least 2 or 3. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some of the pro class with some drive-throughs also, since they like to always push the track limits, maybe a little bit too much. Yeah, so Ryan, as he goes lawn mowing for a little bit, still first of the AM class, and then we got Dave Miller, who's actually right behind him. It's good to see from him. He's been improving quite a lot recently, I think.
So I'm going to
First
call
time.
shenanigans on Ryan Cody because he's Nick Alvarado's teammate in the endurance races in the Honda. So he's been getting some coaching from last season's winner. So I'm skeptical of Ryan Cody.
I feel like we should put Nick in his own split.
Nick is going to be in his own split today because he's going to be starting from the pits.
That's right, last to first challenge.
That's right. He shut off his big mouth about starting from the pit being the strat. So a challenge was thrown down. There's some money involved, and he is going to start from the pit lane and attempt to win the race from the back.
If he loses, does he pay the other person, or is it just a one-way street?
It's a one-way street,
No. Well,
but we get to make fun of him. This is also a way to try to give other people an opportunity to win Season 6 instead of Nick winning another season. So a little handicap.
I still think we should have success ballast. SRO does it. The esports series does it.
We did that on Monday because Mr. Nick Kahoot got success ballast in the GT4s.
How did that work
And
out?
It's true.
And
It
he
didn't-
still won the
it
race.
didn't- That's not true.
Oh,
I put it into the barriers on the last lap.
that's correct.
Close enough.
But you were in contention to win the race.
I was in contention to win the race, yes.
Man, Monday is so much fun.
I should probably get a list of everyone's first name. I just realized as we have 20 new people, and I have
Yeah.
no idea what their first names are.
Well,
Unprofessional.
I sent you a couple driver lists.
You did, and I forgot to get those loaded because I am a clown.
Professionals. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, Paul was on vacation all week and showed up about 10 minutes before the broadcast started and was like, "Hey, I'm here."
I drove from Portland to Seattle this morning just to make it here in time.
Dedication.
That's dedication.
That is.
I mean, I also have to come home, but you know,
I don't know how far that is or how long that takes, but
about 3.5 hours.
oh,
with traffic.
yeah. So we have a minute and a half left to qualifying for the AM class. Ryan Cody is 4/10 ahead. I mean, it's pretty close, other than John Wright being about 4 seconds behind the pace. The top four guys are pretty close.
Yeah,
We're
right.
we're supposed to have
Excuse me.
9 AM drivers, so we're missing 4 of them. Oh, nope, somebody else just showed up. Or maybe Scott Chin had a disconnect because it shows him.
Yeah, he was in here earlier. I think he just might have disconnected. So Wright actually goes up to second.
Nice.
Only 700ths off, too.
Yeah, this is going to be really close. And we got Miller, who's still up on his time, was up on his time. So he's still on a valid lap. We got about 40 seconds for people to cross the line. So I think almost nobody is really going to make it another lap. So this is Dave's last lap. And car number 20, Ryan, he's going to get one more in.
Yeah, Cody and Wright are both up.
Yeah, so far everyone is up. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh, right through the second chicane, he picked up about 2/10.
Yeah, and Cody lost quite a bit of time.
As I say, that right lops most of it around the left-hander. Coming into the hard right. He's picked up another 3/10 in that corner alone.
Yeah, so Miller crosses the line, gets about 2/10 faster, but not enough to move him up. Wright does have the pace to go P1 in the AM class.
Right. Exiting that
One
corner
more.
6/10 up.
Yeah, just one more turn. So this will move him up to P1 provisionally. But Cody is still on a valid lap.
David Miller is going to win that prediction.
Yeah, so Ryan does not actually make it up to P1. He's going to start P2.
Ooh. By 1/10 of a second.
Close, but not close enough. I just realized I sound like a strangled duck.
Do you? Did somebody say that in chat?
No, I.
Because that would be hilarious. Oh, Nick Alvarado in the chat jinxing his boy.
Yeah, shame on him.
Calling out for Ryan being P1, and then he loses it.
Let's see. Car number 4, Charlie Tate. Looks like he's the first of the silvers to get out there.
Driving that Vodafone McLaren. Which comically has Mercedes-Benz logos down the side of it. If you look above the rear wheel wells.
Whoever tried to copy the F1 livery didn't really think about the fact that they're not Mercedes anymore.
Yep, that is a race department special.
McLaren should be one of the strongest cars here in this first sector with all these sweeping corners too. So he could put a fast lap in.
Yeah, I expect the McLarens to be really quick. Obviously the Astons, because they're the meme car. We have 1 Bentley, 2 Bentleys.
We'll have 3, I believe, when Sam Suniga joins us for the next race.
That is right. He had some issues with his router, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, just some router issues. Yeah, so Charlie Tate making his way around the last little chicane here, first of the valid laps. Let's see what he throws down. So what do you think about silver pace? What is it, about 128, 29?
In quali, I'd say 29 is a really good silver pace.
Yeah, I can run a 29.5 here, and I'm a silver driver. Although my fastest lap here is in the Aston, which is not a car that I normally drive, and it's a 29.5. So I feel like I could squeak out some more if I ran a car that I actually know.
So as we say that, P1 in silver won with a 130.1.
Yep.
P2 with a 130.1, just 2,000s of the 3,000s. Yeah.
Wow. What's that guy's name?
Nikolajczyk?
Yes.
So we have a lot of new faces, right? We'd had 30 some odd people last season. We'd regularly get in the 20s or so of attendance. And in an effort to grow this, I did one Reddit post and we filled the grid. So we have a lot of new people that we don't know anything about. So it's going to be interesting to see how these new people come in and kind of shake things up.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, we already had 1 DQ from qualifying. Car number 34. I have to assume he went out to qualify when it was not his turn.
Oh no. That's a possibility.
Yeah, so Nikolajczyk goes up 29.9, so first of the 29s. I do expect to see more. Saavedra looks like he's going to break into the 29s if he can hold his lap together in the Bentley with a super interesting livery. I like it.
Prediction on which car is that?
Car number 8.
Oh, Saavedra. Yeah, that's a Boonitix special. So Boonitix is a YouTuber, also has a community on SGP. He's the guy who did the livery YouTube video where I learned how to do liveries. It's a great video, teaches you how to do everything. He's got all the car files and everything for him.
That's where he learned to do liveries? Man, he must be terrible.
Listen, my liveries are works of art. Okay?
Yeah. It's
and art is subjective.
Yeah, it's like Picasso in the dementia years.
Yes. I may have dementia.
I may have dementia, but at least I don't have dementia. Actually, I think the joke was I may have Alzheimer's, but at least I don't have Alzheimer's.
No, I'm sorry, Brendan. Brendan in chat saying that these new guys took all the spots of our regulars.
Oh.
But just think, next season, if we have this kind of a turnout and we get more people, we can have multiple servers.
Yeah, we could definitely have multiple servers. And another interesting thing that I'm looking at here is multiple people in the Honda. So we got Cody Watts with 3 T's. I'm gonna assume that's a typo, maybe?
Watts moving up to P3.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
29.9.
Yeah, so the Bentley's in P1 of the Silvers currently with the 29.5. Like I said, the Bentley's pretty quick around here. I know that much. I think this is one of the Bentley's best tracks, actually.
And we have 3 drivers, each with a purple sector. So nobody's gotten the full fastest lap yet.
But as I say that, if Mikolajczyk can hold his lap together with a... I'm sorry, does that Mercedes say Corvette Racing on the back?
Yes. So he has a teammate in the pro category, and I talked to him about it yesterday. And I was like, why does it say Corvette on the back of your car? He's like, because it's a Corvette. So apparently this is the car that they feel is the closest to the old
C7.
frontage.
The
Yeah, the old
C7.
C7 Corvette.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's quite accurate. You know, you've got a similar layout with the V8 almost completely behind the front axle. The gearbox is in the back for even weight distribution, very similar to the Corvette. So they do have a point.
I love having Nick here for all the technical stuff. This is great because Paul and I are morons.
Yeah, no, we're
So
absolutely
having
idiots.
Nick here is great.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're talking about half the time, most of the time, all of the time. Yeah, so
Yeah, Juan with P1 and silver so far in a Ferrari.
1 P1. It's meant
One.
to be.
Juan.
Every time I hear P1, all I can think of is Seb's race engineer. Okay, Sebastian, P1.
P1.
Although I haven't heard that in a very long time, sadly.
Brendan says he didn't want to embarrass himself. Come on, man. If you pick something other than the Porsche and get away from that snap oversteer, you'd be golden.
Download a Porsche setup. Or get your Porsche pressures right.
Charlie Tate 7/10 up. Currently P12.
So Charlie's going to move up a couple of spots here. One, holding on to that P1. That's a mouthful. With a 129.3. Both P2 and 3 are in the pit, so I don't know if they're going to do another lap. I don't think they have enough time. Well, they don't.
No, they don't. They've only got 40 seconds left.
Dorcius in P4 just invalidated, so he's not going to have another go. So right now, the only people that really have a chance of improving are Tate and Curzon.
Well, Victor finished his last lap 4/10 up, but he was invalid, so he's got one more shot. So maybe he can find that time that he found last lap and actually keep it on the track this time. But Juan is 2/10 up, so he's going to put more distance between him and P2.
Yeah, and then we have Nick in the comments being a clown saying that 29s is his pace. Get out of here.
Sure it is.
Ban you from the server.
I don't doubt that we'll have some silvers up with the pro times.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it happens every... I think once you get... What differentiates most of the really good pros from the silvers is they're consistently fast. Whereas silvers, you might have like, this is a really good track for some people, and then next week they'll just be mediocre.
Or
Whereas,
they can do the time on fresh tires and low fuel, but then once you get in the race with traffic, they can't keep that pace up.
Yeah, versus the pros, they're a lot more consistent. They can put
Victor's
down
going to pick up half a second. Victor
lap
up to
times that are
P6.
close.
The pros are out on track.
Pros are out on track, and Charlie just lost the rear end of that McLaren coming around the last chicane, so he's not going to improve on his time.
I think my surprise from the silvers is that Chamilio is down in 9th place.
Yeah, Chameleon and Lukey too. I figured Lukey would be way up there.
Well, Chameleo's in a new car. So he went from super easy to drive Aston to mid-engine, let's be honest, not that easy to drive Ferrari.
Okay, Nick, as a pro driver, give me 2 pro drivers you think are going to be competing against each other so I can do a prediction.
Let's see. I think Miles and Tiago will be neck and neck on track.
Well, Tiago wants to be a silver again.
I think Miles might want that too.
No, we talked to Miles about that because we are considering trying to make pro more of kind of an elite category and make silver and amateur kind of a bigger, because the skill, I guess the skill pool or the talent pool that we have is getting faster as we go. And we mentioned it to Miles, and he's like, I don't really want a demotion. So we're considering the gold category, which is between pro. You know, you're not going to win at the pro level, but you're way too fast for silver. So people like Tiago and Paul Miles and a couple others would end up in that gold category.
You know who was strong last season was Billingsley, and I think that he switched cars to the Porsche, so we'll see how he adapts to that. But he could be up with Forrest too.
Yeah, Billingsley and his teammate Rados, because Rados is now a pro.
Yeah, I think they're both really quick. I'm actually interested to see what who is it that picked the rider? Is it Eric?
Oh, Eric Groom.
Groom, yes.
Yep, in the meme car.
Absolute man. He did a 28 in that car.
He's figured that car out. I'll have to give him that. I mean, I can't drive it, that's for sure.
I'm going to keep an eye on Mike Jackson in the McLaren. The guy is so fast, and he's got a really good car for this track. So I imagine he's going to be up there at the front.
Blaine with the first valid time. Looks like we got a couple of times coming in. So Blaine P9, Ferris P5, Stasov P1.
Yeah, Stasov P1.
129 flat.
Lee
Again,
Castro's got a time in.
Mercedes.
Billingsley with a 29.3 on his first lap.
My prediction for this session is that we'll see low 28s.
We saw some 28s in practice. So I expect we'll see those because these guys are going to have the best track that we've had so far.
Let me just attract your attention to what is the ugliest car on the grid.
Oh, Nick Alvarado in his Weeb car. So good. I mean, we put the rule out there, as long as it does not violate Twitch terms of service, you can run it. As long as it's not obscene or anything like that, or offensive. Which, I mean, that could be offensive depending on who you are.
I am thoroughly offended.
But he does run Weeb liveries on every car that he drives.
Yeah, this is
Well, look at his team name. I mean, it fits. Blaine Hall into P1. Immediately jumped by Stasov into 28.7. Carl Big with a 28.3 in the Bentley.
So we already got people going into the low 28s.
Yeah, Carl Big has set the
5
bar.
minutes to go.
Warren with a 29.1 and P5. Ryan Cody telling people in the game chat to make sure they put race fuel and race tires on. Because people will forget to do that.
Yeah, and as you say that, Mike Jackson goes up into P2, so he's going to knock Stasov out of that spot.
Yep. Yeah, I imagine the top 5 will be a 10th, maybe 2.
Ferris was up, but he is so far invalidated his lap, so his Paul Miles. It looks like they're all actually bunched up. There's a pretty clear section of the track right now around the first chicane or second chicane.
Yeah, we've got Ferris Sadie with Carl Big and Stasov. I mean, Stasov just got run off the track because Carl is not waiting for anybody.
Right, but then we got we got this bunched up field here, and it's I don't know. I would have expected they would know how to kind of leave some room. Oh, Looks like Carl decided to abandon his lap.
Yeah, I think Ferris is invalidated, so he should have gotten out of the way. And Paul Miles, I believe, was in front of Carl Big, and he's invalidated as well. But he'll be on a valid lap now.
Yeah.
So I think Carl just ran into some guys that had run off or something like that. Nick Alvarado into P2. Should I disqualify him from qualifying? Is he going to give up the opportunity to get $10 guaranteed money?
So Mike Jackson is going to go up into P1 provisionally, but Carl Big is on a absolute burner of a lap. Jesus, he's about almost half a second up.
Carl's going to be in the 27s.
Let's go on board with him for a little bit, which, of course, on board on the Bentley's on the wrong side of the car. Yeah, so coming around the first chicane, the Bentley here can just, or the second chicane, sorry, can just run over those curbs without any kind of time loss. And then flat out through the right-hander.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Paul Miles. Paul Miles
hairpin. Oh, and he abandoned his lap. I wonder why. Did he miss his braking?
I think he just missed his braking zone.
Yep.
Yeah, he was up 7/10. That is unfortunate. He was up. He would have been P1 easily.
There's still time.
I wonder if guys are having a hard time finding space, because we have, like, Benito Garza does not have a lap in yet. Tiago is sitting in P23. Dylan Sauer P19. Paul Miles finally jumped from P29 to P15.
Yeah, and then we got Riley coming around. So he's going to jump up quite a bit, about a second and a half. I think he's finally getting some clean air here.
Just an indication of how competitive it is. From P8 down to P25, those are all 1 minute 29 second lap times.
Yeah, this field is stacked.
P1 through 10 is all within a second currently.
So any of you people watching on Twitch, if you want to get in on racing like this, !Discord.
And wait for next season?
Yeah, and wait for next season.
I'm not really kidding. We actually are out of spots.
But
join us on Monday nights.
Yeah, Monday nights we have the endurance series that we're doing. We're going to do some more team races. I'm working on putting together the next team race. So grab a buddy or two. Because I looked the other day.
I have friends.
Well, Paul, with your wonderful personality and the kind words that you speak to everybody, I can't believe that you don't have people just beating down your door to be your best friend.
Me too. You know, yeah, that's what I keep telling my mom. Like,
with that being said, I spend a lot of time with you.
Yeah.
From broadcast to endurance races.
Take the P1 with a 27.
Carl into the only 27 so far, and he's going to park it. He is happy with that.
I thought he was going to pull a Schumacher there and just park it straight on the racing line.
Okay, so in following Carl's car, he is now parked on top of car 387. So the other thing about this track is there's only, 25 pit stalls?
25,
roughly,
that's correct.
Yeah.
And we have 42 drivers in here. So do they overlap, or do these guys need to do alternate strategies? I've never done a race where we didn't have enough pit stalls.
I have, and it's a lot of I don't know. I don't think it's an issue. It's not because you're ghosted in the pit lane.
Right.
You're ghosted. In some cases, your line of sight will be obstructed. Like you won't necessarily see your lollipop man. But that can happen when there are plenty of pit spaces too. So
that's very true.
It's not necessarily anything different.
Whoa, Mike Jackson taking flight through the first chicane. That's going to ruin his lap.
Warren is up to P3 now. Just jumped Alvarado. Dylan Beveridge is almost 2/10 up, which will actually jump him like 2 spots if he can hold it.
Dylan in the milky white Bentley.
Yeah, I'm glad he's not in that McLaren he drove last season, because he struggled in that thing.
Yeah, he struggled a bit. It's nice to see the Bentley being picked more. I think it's a super underrated car. I don't know. Maybe people aren't comfortable with the driving on the wrong side of the road, car.
That's the number one complaint that I hear. Well, I got to drive on the wrong side of the car. Well,
We'll just
you get used to it. Yeah, you do a race and it's fine.
It's a really nice car to drive too.
Oh, it's one of my
I
favorites.
So yeah.
We drove it at Monza for the endurance race that we did. I drove it at Kailami with Tiago and Benito.
Dylan up into P4, Ferris into P6, driving around just flashing his lights at literally nobody. So, Carl Big P1, Mike Jackson P2, Warren, a newcomer, in P3, Dylan P4. I'm super happy to see him up there. Nobody cares about Nick. Ferris P6. Michael Stasov 7, Blaine in 8th, Billingsley at 9th, and another newcomer, Riley, in 10th. The first 11 spots were all within a second. And yeah, you have all the way down to P28, or 129s. P29 is when they start going into the 30s.
That is insane.
Yeah, so are we still in amateur league?
We are amateur friendly. We have an AM class. That's why we only have 9 people in the AM class, is because guys show up, they do these races, they learn, and they just naturally get faster. When I first joined this community, Ferris couldn't not hit people. Like one of the first races I did. Yeah, one of the first races I did, he actually made a compilation of all the times that he wrecked, and I was like, this guy is terrifying. And now he's one of the better drivers in the community.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few people improve. Curzon comes to mind.
Alvarado's gotten quite a bit faster since, yeah. Well, he was quick from the beginning, and now he's even faster.
That's because they bought him a wheel.
Yeah, who did that? Max. Oh, of course, the obligatory donuts from Ferris in the pit lane. I feel like stewards will have something to say about that. Where's Michael Massey? Oh, Ferris.
Yeah, so you get down to P16 before you get into the silver cars. And then you've got Juan that's P1 in silver, and then you got Paul Miles is behind him.
Yeah, so I have to assume that at this point the driver's briefing is happening. Hopefully Ferris, whoever's running it, fully emphasizes that we're all about clean racing over result racing.
It's a long championship too, so there's no reason to put yourself in a points hole when there are still 7 more races to go.
Yeah, exactly. You have 7 weeks left. You're not going to win at T1, race 1.
Well, and you have a better opportunity to lose points on lap 1.
Yeah, and we race for fun. It's internet points. We're not going to mail you a trophy. Yet.
Yeah, Daddy Dale did a big post this morning kind of outlining, hey, we're here to race and have fun. We're all about good, clean racing.
Yep.
So, and he said all the points are made up and they don't matter, so.
That's right. They're all big. When did he get so? Was he always this fast? I've never really with him.
Yeah, Carl Big, when he first showed up, he absolutely stomped his first race was at Spa, and he stomped everybody on the grid.
Yeah, and I haven't done Pint in a couple of months, or a couple of series, honestly.
Yeah.
Ever since one day I was like, hey, we should broadcast this.
Yeah, he's one of those annoyingly, naturally talented guys. And he drives a different car each season, so he did the Ferrari, and they did the GTR, and he's doing the Bentley.
He had a Porsche one series too.
Yeah, he drove the Porsche. He struggled in a couple races on that one, but yeah, he's always been fast. Mike Jackson has always been fast. He took last season off. That's Sakame's dad, for anybody who doesn't know.
I'm sorry, to what?
Mike Jackson.
Yes.
So the Twitch streamer Sakame, who's a fairly well known
Yeah.
racing streamer, Mike Jackson is his dad.
Huh.
So Sakame is Trevor Jackson, and then Mike Jackson is Papa Sakame, as they call him.
Huh.
I believe he used to actually race cars. I think, if I remember correctly. But
Yeah, I know
he's
been quick. He was with us in a Lexus for a while.
Yep.
And away we go on the formation lap. So this is going to be interesting.
So, Chris and Paul, what are your keys to the race here?
Keys to the race:
Don't get a drive-through.
Well, yeah, stay out of trouble. 40. What are we at? 42. You said cars, somewhere around there. Yeah, 42 cars on track. It's a tight track. It's not long. You have some really hard braking zones into those chicanes. You know, the first chicane especially. If you get a really good exit, that sweeping right-hander, that's a really good passing opportunity. But it's also really easy to overshoot and basically go for a flight over those bumps in the first chicane. So if you can keep it clean, which I hope most of these people can, you have a pretty good chance of making up some spots, because I think you're going to see some drive-thrus. We purposefully didn't do any kind of weird weather for race 1 like we planned. We actually didn't want this to be a night race in the wet.
Yeah, this was originally going to be a light wet night race.
But yeah,
and then we saw how many people registered, and we were like, well, maybe we shouldn't.
Skin on skin.
When you have, 50 people signed up. We knew we're gonna not gonna show up, but yeah, it's a lot of people on a tight track, and I am here for it. I love it.
And one of the issues we had last season is we had a lot of races where people just got spread out, and there was kind of nothing to watch. Like, we had 2 and 3 second gaps all around the track.
Yep.
But hopefully with more cars and more people, especially on a track like this, there's always going to be something going on. And side note, Nick Alvarado is in the pit. So he did not hit start, so he is starting from the pits.
Okay.
A man of his word.
That means there should be an empty spot where he gridded.
Yep, there is on the left-hand side.
Yep.
So in front of Stasiv.
Here we go.
We are green.
So we're going into turn 1. Looks like we already have a bunch of people going side by side. Carl Big pulls away, though, cleanly. So far, no death behind him. Everyone has made it through at least turn 1 without any incident as we go further down the field to look at some people. Yeah, we are. I am
27.
Color me surprised.
Yeah, we have a couple guys that are... Max Diggs is getting side by side with... I'm not sure who that is. But we've had 2 recorded incidents so far.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a bump.
Yes, looks like Stasiv and Blaine Hall.
2 cars are off in the first chicane.
Oh no.
Oh, and there's chaos actually at the tail end of the field.
Oh no, that looks like Charlie Tate.
Car 34, Scott Chin, and of course my race director just decided to stop working. I love you, ACC.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Technical difficulties. Per usual.
It's okay, my game might be crashing as I try to load a replay.
Well, do
Alvarado
have that replay.
Alvarado starting from the pits is just now coming out of the second chicane. So he's not last on the circuit.
So basically he picked the right strategy, is what you're saying.
We'll see. Big already opening up a gap at the front. He's a second ahead of Warren.
Yeah, Big is pretty much running away with this from the beginning. Still trying to get my live timing to work here. It's just not cooperating today. I guess we'll have to do this manually. Yeah, so big with a 1.5 second lead already, eating up some cones, going to that first chicane. Second chicane. So he is, wow, I am impressed. How's that, is your game still crashing on that replay?
I'm trying to find out who the heck it is.
Yeah, it looked like there was quite a lot of death.
Yeah, I found it. Here we go.
Let's see.
So they're coming down into that chicane and that Ferrari back there. Car 280, that's going to be Juan. Absolutely punts. And then he kind of a bad rejoin there by car 17.
Closest battle on track here is P3 down to P7. Looks like Mike Jackson is actually the cork in the bottle. Beverage has a bad entry to turn 2, and Forrest is around the outside of him. They're side by side.
Yeah, so Ferris looks like he's stuck in that little, in between Stasov and Beverage here, and Beverage is kind of holding him up, and now Stasov is looking up the inside. So he's going to try and go up the inside into the chicane here. That's going to be a bold move if he can make it. It looks
Forrest loses time through that chicane. Beverage opens up a gap.
Yeah, now Stasov is having a peek on Ferris.
He also backs off, perhaps trying to get a good exit through the second chicane.
Yeah, we got... That Audi is not good at taking those chicanes, at least the bumps. It is unstable. It's gonna, if you take them wrong, it's just gonna throw you off. Versus the Mercedes.
The second chicane in particular for the Audi, that curb on the right-hand side, the rear end of the car can bottom out, and you lose all grip. So it's really easy to go sideways into the barriers there with that car. Yeah,
we've seen Ferris. I'm not sure why he picked the Audi again, but we've seen him do that in a couple of races with, when that diffuser just kind of hits the ground, and maybe that's a physics glitch of the game where it's supposed to do that, and he just loses all traction. He's done it at Spa. He did it at Imola, I think, in the chicane at Imola.
I noticed that Joey Meliti is down at the bottom of the grid, so I went back to check and find out what happened to him. And I've got a replay for you. Coming into that final chicane.
Oh,
he just gets spun around.
Yeah, that's facing the wrong way there.
Yep. And he waits, doesn't want to pull back out on track in front of anybody else, so.
Good for him. Ferris still holding off Stasov. Going further down the field into 14th, we got Jorgensen getting chased by Thiago in a Porsche, in a very, very, very bright yellow Porsche. Yeah. So we got an interesting little battle here for 12, 13, 14. He looks like
there, it's an Aston.
Yep. They just went off somebody, went by somebody who's off track.
Yeah, we've got an off
Paul
there.
Miles. No, it was not Paul Miles. Maybe Bruce?
Oh, Billingsley is now behind Alves. Billingsley was off the circuit and slow as well.
I think that car off was car 501. I think that was Castro, because he is dropped like a rock down the list. But he's managed to get it back on track.
Yeah, so we got some interesting close, not so much battles, but it looks like everyone's just kind of following and trying to bide their time until, obviously, Carl Big has run away with the race, but
Billingsley has to run on Alves.
Getting settled in, yeah. I took a peek on the inside there, but thought better of it. Alves goes flying through the chicane.
Yeah. Thiago is rally crossing that. Thiago's moved up quite a bit because he was quite a bit further down on on the list when we started this race.
Yeah, as we go further down, Cassette making some moves here. I wish that my live timing would work again.
Yeah, Ryan Cody and his Honda is trying to find a way around Joe Server, and they've got Ramon right behind him. It's a little 4-car train here, all kind of stuck behind Charlie Tate in that McLaren.
Yeah, so Ryan just has to be basically careful about, you know, taking those curves.
Nick Alvarado's making a move on Shane Watts. Gonna make that stick pretty easily. So Nick up to P33 so far. And that is your Nick Alvarado check-in.
I'm actually going to stay with him for a little bit because I think something is still controlling my race, but it's not me.
Charlie Tate making a move on... Is that Joe Server?
Here, let me actually
No,
go
that's...
to you, Chris, while I figure out my...
So yeah, this is the battle I've been watching here. Is Ramon, Cody, and John Wright is now caught up to this pack. John Wright's going to have a look down the outside. They're going to touch. John Wright's going to get run off into the wall. He's going to have some damage if he brings it back on track. Little flash of the lights to say, hey, I'm here. Charlie Tate diving. I don't know if he missed his braking point. No, that's not Charlie Tate. That's Kyle Cassette who made that dive. Yeah, Ryan Cody just trying to hold these guys off right now. We're going to jump up here to John Jorgensen. He's trying to make a move on Vicini. Jorgensen with one of my favorite liveries in this race so far.
Yeah, that is fresh.
It's super clean. It's really hard to paint the McLaren, but that is super clean.
Now, is it hard because of the little door curve?
Yeah, because of the air vents and stuff and the way the body lines are. There's just not anywhere flat to put a logo, so every logo you put on that car is going to be curved. So we got this battle back here. I mean, the 25, 26, basically 25 through 29, these guys are all stacked up together.
There we go. Finally got my thing back. I do apologize.
It's like John Ryder on the outside. That's Kyle Cassette who lost it. It's like a little oversteer. Nick Alvarado's going to scoot up the inside of him. Yeah, we got some Silver and some AM drivers that are being super aggressive on each other. Ramon kind of barging his way through that corner there. Look at this train, and Nick Alvarado is right stuck in the middle of it. Come through. Cassette looking at the back end of Alvarado. He's not going to make a move there.
Yeah, I don't think that's the best place to try to make a move.
Oh, we got
there's contact.
Charlie Tate.
Oh, no.
Charlie Tate lost it. I think he overran it.
Yeah, Charlie Tate is now going backwards, waiting for everyone else to drive past him.
Yeah.
Trying to get it back on track there.
I think
So
he missed a
manages
breaking
to
point.
do so, but he does drop all the way down to 35th.
I'm going to try to grab a replay. I think he missed a breaking point and jumped the chicane and just had no control.
Yeah, so we got Riley catching up to Diggs, or sorry, to Sauer. So Ferrari on Ferrari, about half a second behind him, going down that long straight now into the first chicane. So like I said, this is a really, really good place to make a move. If you do have a tow, if you do get a better exit, this is a perfect place to make a pass. If you can hold it together, obviously, and not, you know, take flight like Alves did a couple of laps earlier.
So
here's a Charlie Tate replay.
Tate is reporting that he's got some bad frame rate issues, so I think he's actually going to park the car.
I don't know if you missed all that. I'm going to back it up a couple seconds here.
Yeah, that's an interesting line through that chicane.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah, it looks like he just kind of parked the car.
Yeah, good on him to get out of the way.
So further down the field, we got Lukey following Castro and Victor, with Benito Garza right behind him. So we got about 4 cars here for P18, 19, 20, and 21, all within half a second of each other.
I'm looking at this 11, 12, 13, 14 battle. You got Jorgensen, Alves, Billingsley, all stacked up behind Vicini.
Yeah, so this, like I said, Jorgensen's going to try and get a really good exit here. The McLaren is better in the fast turns, so he should, if he doesn't botch this up, have a better exit going down the back straight, which should give him a really good opportunity to outbrake Vicini here and maybe try to make a move, but it looks like he's going to be held off. Doesn't have quite enough speed. Yeah, Zolder's it's a difficult track to pass, I think.
Yeah, you really got to set it up and get a good run, or be really brave on the brakes and manage to get alongside somebody going into a chicane. Yeah, the front, about the front 9 have kind of checked out and spaced out. And then from about 10 to 22 is where all the action's at.
Yeah, we got some pretty good battles for 10 to, like that midfield, and then further down the line, like 33, 32. Miller, who's actually looking to make a move on Cody. I think he has. Might have missed that. Or he was, but he must have lost some time. At least on my life timing, he was right about to pass him.
Yeah,
Cody
Miller's in the
into
Lexus.
Cody down into 32nd. Did he lose any time, or?
I think he's just been caught up in a bunch of different battles and having to wait for people to come by and having to avoid incidents and things like that.
Yes, 42 cars here is spicy. I will say I think everyone's kept it surprisingly clean. I'm impressed. Oh, and as I say that, somebody just went off track. Looks like car 334. Where is car 334? Kyle Cassette. So he's parked
in his McLaren.
Yep. So that's the other thing. If you have an incident, if you have an off, and you have to wait for everyone to get past, you're going to be waiting for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of spots to get your car turned around.
Right.
Big is about to set the race's fastest lap. Or nope, 3,000 off. He just turned a 28.284, but he is now reaching the first of the lapped traffic.
So Big is going to run into some issues here. Hopefully everyone is full aware of blue flags and how to handle them. We do try to let everyone know that blue flags doesn't necessarily mean slow down and park your car on the side of the track, but don't impede, don't try to block, don't race the person trying to, lap you. Just kind of hold your line, drive your race. It's the person, who's faster than it's basically their responsibility to pass you when it's safe.
Yep.
We have the first of our pit callers too. Thiago Alves is in the pits.
Thiago Alves.
That's super early. That's 15 minutes into the race.
Thiago looks like is he trying to pull the Eric Groom super undercut of the century?
The mega undercut, yeah.
I think it might be, but the success of that depends on how well he timed it and whether he can get into clean air when he leaves the pits.
And if he can manage those Porsche tires for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm kind of most not necessarily worried about, but looking out for is what's going to happen towards the end of the race, because we've seen
Mike Jackson's about to make it interesting for P2. He's caught Warren.
He lost that position at the start of the race too, so he's finally back to close to his starting position.
Yeah, they're running pretty similar lap times, but yeah, he's closed that gap down considerably.
Oh,
we got a car off.
That's the Sabinala.
That's Bjorn Duran. Yeah, Bjorn Duran lost it.
Oh no. So Warren's now caught behind Thiago coming out of the pits.
Thiago is moving out of the way.
Yeah, so Thiago's done the right thing there and just moved over. You don't want to block Warren for that P2 battle. Whelp Cakes, we We didn't need to combine, so usually what we've done is we set up the championship in simracing.gp, and then we just have people sign up. I think we kind of underestimated how many people would sign up.
Yeah, Welpcape, because I believe it was from the 949 community. I was in their Twitch the other day talking to him about it. Billingsley is off. He has lost it in the first chicane.
Oh no.
I'm going to grab a replay. I think he just missed the brakes. Because he was working on catching someone.
So Mike Jackson's still following Warren around. He's getting slowly closer. Right up his bumper going into that last chicane before the start-stop line. Question is, where do you try to make a move? Do you just put pressure and hope the guy in front makes a mistake, which he does? So Warren goes wide. That gives Jackson P2 easily. So as I say that, like, just put some pressure on the guy in front and just hope that he makes a mistake.
So here's your Billingsley replay. Coming down to the first chicane, it looks like he's just not getting that car shut down enough and ditches it to avoid killing Jorgensen.
Looks like Jorgensen overslowed the car a little bit, and Billingsley wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, Jorgensen might have been driving defensively, trying to take a tighter line through that chicane, expecting the dive bomb.
Yeah, well, the other thing is Billingsley, he didn't drive the Porsche last season.
He didn't. He was in the Lexus last
Yeah,
season.
Lexus.
Yeah, and if you're not really used to the Porsche, I mean, your braking points are a little bit later than everyone else's. As he
Billingsley
also takes flight.
Yeah, he just went by Diggs and then almost died.
Yeah, I was saying, if you're not used to the Porsche's brakes, well, they're much better than, almost every other car.
Louis Castro looking to make a move on Paul Miles coming through the chicane.
Yeah, so Aston on Aston, we got some skin on skin.
That's ass on ass. Bjorn Duran moves out of the way. Good job, Bjorn.
Yeah, Castro pops out of there a little bit, tries to get a peek, maybe scare Miles into braking later or taking a defensive line.
Now these guys are teammates in the upcoming 10 hours of Silverstone race. So they're both driving the Aston to try to get used to it, I guess. So they're not going to want to kill each other because they are going to have to drive together again this coming weekend.
Teammates doesn't mean anything.
Not in the Pint series.
Not in anything. That is, yes, Eric Groom. I know we haven't really been focused on him this race, but yes, that is a rider.
That is a rider in P15.
Yeah, he is very fond of that car for some odd
and
reason.
he's fast in it too.
Yeah, he's been putting down, 130 is respectable. There's a lot of traffic, and he isn't a rider.
That's was trying to chase down Sadie.
I'm more impressed by the fact that he hasn't spun it or crashed yet.
Right? Scott Chain gets out of the way excessively and almost runs into a wall.
Yeah, Blaine Hall down in P7. He's been having a super quiet race, so he's going to dive into the pits. Looks like...
John Jorgensen catching Dylan Sauer for P10. Sauer heads off into the pit.
Yeah, and
Jorgensen overruns the corner.
Blaine Hall into the pit as well.
Yeah, so we're going to start seeing the first wave of pit stops here. So Sauer and Hall. And then we got Cassette and Fantazzi.
Sounds right.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, Castro and Miles are still duking it out back there.
But Castro's still stuck behind Miles. He hasn't really... I was hoping he would make a move here. So let's see if he gets a really good tow.
So Castro has always said he hates GT3 cars. He would rather drive the GT4s. And if you've ever raced against him in a GT4,
he's rapid.
He is very, very fast.
Yeah.
You put him in that Mercedes, and good luck. Stasov's trying to go around the outside of Ferris. That's going to be a long way to go.
Yeah, I think Ferris is actually holding up Stasov in the Mercedes.
Oh, absolutely. So
Yeah,
Ferris is going to move over and cover the corner.
line. That looked a little bit like moving under braking, but what do I know? We'll let the stewards decide.
Yep.
So Ferris is having to take the super defensive line into every single turn. Got to cover up the inside. He's, I've raced against Ferris, and he is, how do I put this lightly, a very annoying defender.
He knows where to position his car.
Defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is very good at defending, and he just frustrates you to no end because you have no way around him. As they're going up to the first chicane here.
So Billingsley is going to try to make this move on Diggs again, and probably hopefully not take flight.
Marcel, wheel problems. Wheel as in steering wheel? As in Kimi wheel?
Ramon, yeah. Yeah, Carl Big is absolutely gone.
Yes.
He is
Yeah,
11 seconds ahead of P2. Yeah, he's running 29 flats with traffic. So Diggs and Billingsley have now caught up to P10. Saavedra.
Yes. And Billingsley likes to poking and, weaving around that Aston, trying to get some kind of look. But it's going to be difficult because you got the Aston being towed by the Bentley. And then in the Porsche, you're not going to have the best straight line speed anyway. However, you will have the turn and you will have the brake. The braking power. There was some fluster. Yeah, it's
week 1.
40 some
short
people
track
on this track. I think was brave of us. Whoever picked this track. Ferris.
That was the Wheel of Destiny.
Yes. We don't actually pick the tracks, we just randomize it.
And then we go, yeah, well, I don't want to do that one. And then we pick something else.
As Diggs went flying into that first chicane. Yeah, that's, where is week 2?
Nürburgring.
Ooh.
Yep. Stasov's got to run on Ferris. He's going to go try to run the outside again.
Though. He's going to keep it.
Yep.
If I were Stasov, I would head for the pits right now. He's losing too much time.
Yeah,
Might as well try for the undercut.
A ton of time.
Burning up tires. No, he's still
and getting frustrated.
Out. So Stasov is staying out. I'm guessing he's trying to put pressure on Ferris and hope that he makes a mistake.
Billingsley's looking up the inside of Diggs. As Saavedra heads to the pit, Billingsley is also going to head to the pit, so that's going to end that battle. Castro behind Miles. Castro's going to stay out.
Get a little bit of a side-by-side action here. This looks like we got some pretty close battles on track.
Yeah, I'm looking at Curzon down here in P26 trying to catch up David Miller. And John Jorgensen, fresh out of the pit, is going to be catching up to them pretty quickly. And he also has Mike Jackson, P2, behind him.
Yeah, so Stasov, it looks like he's... Every time he catches up to Ferris, he gets super close, and then either he makes a little tiny mistake, and Ferris goes wide out of that second chicane. Stasov goes on the outside. Can he actually hold it?
I think he might get him here.
It's going to be tough.
Elbows out.
He does have the, elbows out. Oh, and they touch. Going into the hairpin.
Oh, no.
A little bit of a love tap there. So Ferris is just not giving up that spot.
Yeah, I'm down here in P30-31 watching Dylan Sauer having a hard time getting by Meliti. So this is a pro and a silver.
Yeah, so Stasiv tried to make a move, and Ferris just pretty much put his elbows out and went, nope, not today.
I mean, you signed up for a race.
Yeah, that's what you like to see. Close racing. Clean-ish, you know, door banging, whatever, it's racing.
Jump over here to Lukey, trying to chase down Victor. Oh,
Ooh.
Lukey late on the brakes.
Yeah, at that point, you should just, if he hasn't pit already, just dive into the pits.
Yeah, he hasn't pit yet.
Yeah, so Stasiv gets a really good exit down the straight again. So is he going to have another look going to that first chicane? I mean, by now he knows that Ferris is not going to give up anything.
So Nick Alvarado, P15, he's going to pick up a couple as he passes people in the pit. So it looks like he's in P12.
Meh.
That is your Nick Alvarado check-in.
Check-in number 2.
Mike Jackson just leaving the pit now. We'll see where he slots into traffic.
Yeah, so Stasiv hasn't pit, and we're getting to the midpoint of the race here. Ferris hasn't pit either. So it looks like pretty much most of the top runners have not pit, other than Mike Jackson, who had decided to take a bit of an undercut. And as I say, that Stasiv dives into the pits. Good for him. You're not going to get past Ferris. Try to get him in the undercut. Hope that he
Jackson's come out into... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, hope that Ferris gets held up by any kind of traffic.
Jackson's just come out into 15th, and he seems to have relatively clear air in front of him.
Yeah, he's got that BMW. I don't know who that is exactly.
That's Shane Reese. That's a 949 driver.
Okay.
He's the one driving from his van at Brands Hatch. So this guy is parked at a campsite at Brands Hatch racing in a van.
What an absolute...
And he's just pulled over and
legend.
let Mike Jackson through.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a
What
back
a
marker, so he's going to
legend.
let him go. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so now we got Blaine Hall catching up to Saavedra. This is for position. So Blaine Hall's in P22. I know he pit early, but what happened to him? That he's now behind the silver.
I think it's just pit cycle, because Saavedra pit last lap, so he might have just come out in front of him.
So the undercut definitely did not work for Blaine Hall, because it doesn't look like Saavedra's going to give up this spot easily.
I mean, Blaine has caught him quite a bit over the last lap or two. But yeah, passing that big old Bentley is not going to be easy.
Well, you just can't see around it. That's my biggest problem, driving it behind the Bentley. It's like, where's my braking markers? I can't see anything.
So Nick Alvarado has taken his pit stop, and he's going to be coming back out. Lukey up in P8. Still trying to chase down Victor.
Yeah, Lukey up in P8. We got...
Higgs and Castro into the pits.
Chameleon in the pits, Dorcius in the pits. Mike Jackson, what happened to Jackson? I just heard somebody say Mike Jackson, no. No, he is down into P10, but this was because he's already done his pit stop. So he should be... He does have some damage on the front of his McLaren, though.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up a replay and see if something happened with him.
Yeah, that looks interesting. Dylan Beveridge catching up to Bruce Hopkins. Bruce should let him by here, maybe, perhaps.
Leader is into the pits.
Carl Big in the pits. Lane Hall still can't get past Saavedra on the Bentley. That's 2 laps now. He's been definitely being slowed down.
The sections of the track where the Audi would have an advantage over the Bentley those are negated by being behind the Bentley just because the aero wash off that car is so severe.
I mean,
The
yeah,
Audi's probably losing all the downforce for Sector 1.
you have a cruise ship in front of you, basically punching a giant hole. Also, yeah, the Bentley is, super quick around here, so it's going to be tough to keep up. Oh no, there's a lot of death in the chicane.
Okay, so I found Mike Jackson's issue.
I think we just missed quite a lot of.
Yeah, I'll grab that one. Let me back it up.
What happened
here.
with him? We just.
Yeah, so we'll back it up. Coming down here, gets airborne, and just kind of bounces it into the wall.
Yeah, that's gonna do it. And then we had some other issues. I think in the first chicane I saw some death last lap. Watching Blaine trying to get. Blaine does get past Saavedra. I think he took advantage of that chaos.
So we'll go into hell in a handbasket.
Yep.
Got through half the race and.
Nick Alvarado gaining a spot as Milady goes into the pits. So who do we have? Scobie, Milady, who's actually just pitted, and I think that's about it for our pit stops. So almost everyone has cleared their pit. So you're looking at what should be close to real standings, except for Eric, who is in. Well, yeah, the top 4 have not pit. Eric in P3. What an absolute madman in the rider. End the race now. Give him a podium.
Right. The guys earned it just for driving that car.
Ferris taking the typical Ferris super late pit stop. Because, of course. Yeah, not surprisingly, with 39 cars we have left on track, not a lot of battles. How do you people manage to do this? There's 40 cars. How are you all spread out? Don't understand.
You said it was in the first chicane that there was an accident?
It looked like it, at least on my screen.
Our current leader into the pit. So Saidi assumes the lead.
Yeah, Sadie with the temporary lead. So he's got some clean air, so he's going to try and put down his, as many clean, fast laps as he can before he does go into the pits. I'm curious to see if Stasev is going to come out ahead.
Ours is also holding up Castro behind him, who has already taken his pit stop.
Yeah, which is giving Sauer, Sauer loses a lot of time into that first chicane. I was going to say it's given Sauer a lot of opportunity to catch up to both of them, but he just goes a little too wide. Loses some time, but yeah, Castro is definitely being held up by Sadie. And again, Sadie can be really annoying.
That Sadie's role in this race is to hold people up.
Yes. Or to be annoying. I think that's just his role in general.
Oh.
I kid.
Ouch.
Yeah, so Scobie still hasn't pit. Vicini down in P20. He is gonna. Scobie dives into the pits as I say that. So Vicini's up to P19 now provisionally. He's got a BMW in front of him. There's 2 BMWs in this race.
Saidi in the pit now.
Finally.
I don't think he'll come out in a great position.
I don't think so either. I think his gamble will not have paid off. So I'm just going to go on board here with Stasev.
In this race, I don't know if there is a good position to come out of the pit because there's just cars everywhere.
Right.
There is no, hey, I'm going to pit now and I'm going to be, 4 seconds away from everybody else when I come out.
Yeah. Yeah, Cakes, we did the math when we had 50 people, so I think it came out to, if we take into account the average length of the cars, like 10 meters between cars. When we had 50 people on track. Yeah, it was going to be a fun one. So Stassiv going around the final chicane.
Heidi's still stationary.
Zadie's still stationary. Yep, and he just got dropped, so he's about to pull out here. Stassiv going around T1. You can see Ferris at the top of this. So Stassiv is going to take this spot easily. So that undercut did not work for Ferris at all. So he's going to come out in P7.
Our leader, Groom, has yet to pit.
So when watching the replay back, there was not an incident in the first chicane.
Man, I don't know what I saw.
And my replay is doing a thing where it's normal speed sometimes, and then it's super slow other times, and then normal speed. So,
you know, ACC things. Clearly, this game wasn't meant to have 40 tracks on this track, or 40 cars.
40 cars, yeah. We're making it work, though. We're down to 38.
Yeah, there is actually not a lot of drama. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, at least more close racing. It's got a lot of people spread out.
Too many clean drivers.
Yeah, you got Billingsley is on Saavedra down at P12 and 11.
Yeah, he is catching up pretty quick.
He's a couple tenths back.
But again, passing that Bentley is going to be tough.
Oh, but Blaine did make it past Saavedra.
Yeah, he did.
Blaine did, yes.
So...
Oh, and Saavedra goes wide. That gives Billingsley the outside going to T1. This is going to be spicy.
We're missing drivers.
Oh, and it looks like Saavedra just lifted and let Billingsley by.
I don't see Nick Alvarado on my car list anymore.
No. No, I do not either. Huh.
So it looks like I'm saving $10. Yes.
Stacked broadcast says Nick Alvarado in Discord.
Oh, here he is in Discord. He just got into Twitch. Nick, what happened, Nick? Your game crash?
South American internet.
He's got the Fs. So Warren is all over Sadie coming out of the chicane. Sadie got a terrible line.
Big oof.
Game crash. Well, you still earned $10, my man. And then Sauer, Castro, and Alves, 14, 15, 16. That could be a good one.
Yes, Ferris is definitely holding up Warren. Now, Warren was P3 when he dove into the pits. Now he's P7. So he had a terrible pit stop. Or pit cycle. And yes, Dylan is legitimately P3 on pace. Unless Groom decides to do his no stop.
Yeah.
Just get disqualified. For the memes.
But look at the gap, because we know Groom has to pit, but look at the gap of Carl and Mike Jackson.
Yeah.
So you got
27 seconds.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, so
Groom dives into the pit.
Warren trying to make a move on.
Groom hit the wall on the pit entry.
Oh no.
Well, you can fix that damage. He's going to the pit.
Whoops.
Come on, Castro, you need to attack.
Yep, you got Castro on Tiago with Sauer just kind of hanging around the back of both of them here.
Yeah, Sauer's looking to pick up 2 whenever these guys crash into each other. Castro's got to run, so and you know Tiago's not going to fight him.
Yeah, Tiago's just going to... Oh, but now he's going to block Sauer into that chicane. So that's going to lose some time to...
But Tiago got the worst line through that one.
Why is Tiago giving up spots? Shame on you. Boo,
because Tiago...
Boo this man. Boo him.
Tiago things. Twitch TV.TGO Alves, was it 12?
Yes.
And drop sandbags in his chat.
1 Juan having a look on Fantozzi.
So Sadie's catching up to Reese, a back marker. Reese is just going to get out of the way. I really thought Reese was going to back Sadie up and to Warren some more.
Like I said, Ferris is really annoying to get past.
Blaine Hall looked on the inside of turn 2 at Jorgensen. Didn't have enough room to get it up in there.
See how Ferris Sadie takes these chicanes super gently.
We got a couple of little battles going on here. Oh, Scott Chin. Yeah, Scott Chin backs out. Let's Warren go through.
So it looks like Groom did not repair his damage from that botched pin entry, and Diggs is rapidly closing on him.
Yep. Yeah, Diggs is right behind him. Oh, Groom is off in the grass. Groom has disconnected. His car just took flight.
Saw him. Yep.
And he is now in the woods. If you cut to my screen, he's in the woods.
Yep.
Hello?
Lovely.
Eric? I mean, his car's still running.
Yeah, he is. He is picnicking.
So that's interesting.
That's a shame because he was actually doing really well.
He was. He may pop back out. You never know.
After his picnic is done, maybe.
No, I think he's actually dropped now.
Shame.
That is unfortunate.
So Warren still can get past Sadie, and then we got Blaine Hall a little bit further down the field, trying to keep up with Jorgensen here.
Yeah, that's another battle, and then we got Bassini on Miles. And those are the 3 closest battles on track right now.
Yeah, so at some point, I do expect Warren to just full send.
Castro has checked out of that battle that he had with Sauer.
Ferris decides to take the Eric Groom line.
Oh no!
Chicane number 2. So he's gonna. Was that
Blaine
Ferris
has gotten by
else?
Jorgensen. Something happened with Jorgensen because Blaine is now past him.
That was Ferris. Yeah. Ferris took the off-road line. What a clown.
I forgot what happened with Jorgensen because he was really, really slow when Blaine got by him.
You know, not to make excuses for my shitty broadcasting because there are none, but it seems like the servers have been really laggy today.
They are. Everything is having issues.
Trying
to get to replays is been a nightmare.
I don't know if it's us running 30 some odd liveries. Clearly,
There's
which
not
this game was not meant to be.
Liveries.
There's a bunch. But yeah, it's been glitchy, to say the least.
Okay. So I've got your
Cine on Miles.
I've got your Jorgensen Blaine Hall replay. They dive past Scott Chin, and Jorgensen just terrible line through the chicane, and then decides not to try to cut back on track.
It's funny if you go back a little bit and watch Ferris Sadie. That's exactly the same thing he did in the same lap, in the same exact spot. Shane's Van Internet is still yes. What an absolute legend. So who do we have on track? Billingsley catching up to Riley here.
Yeah, Riley, who we don't know anything about. He's one of the new drivers from, I'm assuming, from Reddit. Find himself in the top 10. Yeah, he's in top 10.
He might lose out that P9 though. If Billingsley has his way. Oh, and Riley decides to
Riley
spin out.
Loses it.
Oh no. Commentator's curse. Oh, there goes P9 for him, or top 10. So he's going to be down into P11, P13, 14.
So Ferris is in front of Stasov?
He is.
He
I thought Ferris had given that away. Let me go back and see what happened there.
I thought so too, and I see somebody flashing up ahead of Ferris.
Yeah, they're coming up on a bunch of back markers, I believe.
Yeah, so somebody was flashing Warren, looks like. Well, I will say this race has not been without incidents.
You guys are going to be busy on Tuesday.
I mean, you guys are there too.
No big ones, though.
No.
Other than the first lap, that in the first chicane.
It's been pretty clean. So now Ferris is going to catch up to the back marker here. Oh no, Stasov looks like he almost missed his braking point. Have to go way wide.
He did. He had to cut the grass.
Yep. Oh, he's going to lose a bunch of time doing that little off-road excursion. Michael Stasov in the Corvette racing Mercedes.
Oh. Okay, I have your replay on Stasov. This one may take a second. We're actually going to jump this forward about 5 seconds or so.
Going down to first chicane. Does he just miss the braking point, or does he get too...
Well, he gets loose, and then he's got Riley in front of him, and he catches Riley, and they go into the section chicane side by side, and that works really, really well.
Yep.
Pulls the 180 though, and then almost kills.
Safe rejoin.
Almost kills about 3 people.
That was
Cue the sound effects.
Yeah,
that is Warren and Sadie and Kyle Cassette. Yeah, Riley really lost out on that one.
Yeah, he did. Which is unfortunate because he was kind of... Does this happen before or after he spun himself into the last chicane?
I think that was
a shit rejoin.
Because now he's down to P14.
Yeah, he's had some too. So
yeah, because he was up in the top 5 or 6.
Oh no, and Stasov does it again.
Stasov has... Is that Fantazi?
I believe so.
He's driving like a Corvette driver.
So
gonna hemorrhage a lot of points on
spun around
Tuesday
and he's
night.
Gonna teleport back to the pits. Oh, that is... No, you hate this.
Yeah, he's going to lose so many points on Tuesday that this race is going to be a wash for him.
Yeah, you gotta... I mean... Look,
thanks for coming, Whelp Cakes, if you don't make it back.
I get it. You gotta be a little cleaner now. You gotta pick your spots, man. You know?
Yeah.
You gotta know when to try to full send. You can't... Even with blue flags, you can't expect people to move out of the way in the middle of a chicane. A little disappointed.
Yep. Castro for NP12 trying to catch Dig, so another Aston on Aston.
Yeah, Castro's trying to catch Diggs. Vicini's still stuck behind Miles. Not making any movement around that other Aston.
Lukey's all over. Victor's taking a defensive line through turn 3. Let's see if Lukey can get a better run. Although trying to catch that Lambo in a straight line is going to be hard to do.
It is, but he's got better brakes. Better exits.
Victor's going to hang on to it.
Yeah, Victor looks like he's got... Is Victor supposed to be running a custom livery also? I have a couple of cars that are just pure black.
That's possible. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. At this point, I think we might just have to dump them. We got a yellow flag up in the next corner.
Yeah, it's car number 18, Vicini.
So that was the car that was behind Miles. We also have that Scott chin backwards. Oh, Vicini just killed Benito.
Oh no.
What on earth happened there?
I just missed that one. Benito's perpendicular to the track now, trying to make his way back.
Benito's going to be losing his mind.
Well, oh yeah, he's got massive damage on the front end.
Benito was getting heated in Wreckfest races last night. I cannot imagine what he's saying right now.
I have to be careful not to run wide in these Sector 1 corners with that damage to the front of his car.
Yeah. Lukey is still hounding Victor for P3, P2, and 3 of the silver class. It's like every time he gets a little bit better exit, it seems like it doesn't even matter. That Lambo just pretty much pulls away.
Okay, so we're going to start this replay. So this is Vicini out of P17, the one that was battling with Miles. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. He misses the braking. He kills Scott Chin. Miles hits him. He's backwards in a corner.
Okay, so he's holding it.
Yeah, he's holding. He's got a chance to turn it around, which he does. He lets these guys go. He's pulling back out. And Benito, this is for position. And he just gets into the back end of Benito and turns him around.
Yeah, that's... gotta have a little more spatial awareness.
Yeah.
Watch that radar.
Yeah, you've got the radar. You should have a crew chief yelling at you. So Vicini is in the pit. He is leaving now. Garza's down to P20. He's got Richard Wan all over his tail, which is not going to be hard to do because Benito's car is trashed. Car 18 gets a stop go 30, so that is going to be, I believe, Vicini as well.
Oof.
So he's speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, Lukey's still trying to make his way around Victor here. Nick, it's okay if you don't have enough points. I do believe I have broken the sound notifications. So
that was a shit rejoin.
If they don't work, blame me.
Oh, I think somebody already played it.
Oh no.
It's on cooldown.
Oh no.
Well, this is the point system. The channel points.
Like I said, we're professionals here.
Castro's all over Diggs still. I really want to see Luis be more aggressive. Like, he gets behind these guys and he seems like he's just content to sit there. Or he's waiting for them to make a mistake or something, but he needs to be trying to make some sort of a move.
I mean, what do you want him to do, though? He gets behind them, but he doesn't get close enough to, like... I mean, you could send it from a different zip code, but then you just end up, you know, taking him out. It's kind of... So he gets a really good exit out of the first chicane there. That's just not enough.
It's a car off in, looks like turn 4.
Thiago. That's car number 12, Mr. Thiago Alves, who's, again, parked it right on the exit.
Good job,
turn
Thiago.
4 there. Melody almost crashed out big. Oh. Please do not mess with Carl Big. Well, this has been your Carl update. He is 34 seconds ahead of P2. Moving on.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things about these big grid races. You are going to have bag marks you got to deal with, and you know, if you're going to be a pro driver and contend for wins, you got to be able to get by people.
Luis Castro with the Walmart Aston Martin Racing. Walmart. I don't think I've ever seen an Aston Martin out of Walmart. It's usually trucks and shitty.
So Stasov is going to try to challenge Sadie coming into the chicane.
Yeah, if I'm Sadie, I'm a little, I mean, knowing what I know now, I'd be a little worried.
Yeah, he's got 3.5 minutes left.
I see a lap.
Oh, Castro's making a move. Almost. They were side by side, and I think Luis, the bad line to make it through that chicane. They're past Bruce Hopkins.
Stasov here and just kind of do a little side by side.
Ooh.
So Stassiv is still hanging around Ferris. Punt to pass is enabled when battling Ferris. It seems like for Stassiv, punt to pass has been enabled for
For everybody.
quite a while now.
Yeah.
Especially for back markers.
Yeah, there may be some etiquette issues going on. So the back markers really cost Castro. He is dropped off the back of Diggs.
Yeah, he has quite a bit.
And Diggs is trying to catch Saavedra now. That's where we got Riley and Sauer coming through turn 1. Reese is going to move aside and let them go.
Yeah, so right now the closest battle I have on track is Cody and Cassette.
Yeah, the battle for P26.
Cody trying to make a move in that PMY Honda.
John Wright catching up to Benito Garza.
Well, Benito's car is absolutely just destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, he can't turn. He has no front end grip at all. So he just gets past.
Yeah, I expect him to be caught up by Server also at some point. And Cody goes up the inside of the McLaren on the hairpin. He does have the line. So now they're going to drag race it out to the last chicane.
Oh, the Honda's going to win that drag race.
Yeah, he does hold it. So Cassette's going to lose out a spot to Cody. Not just bragging points. I mean, they're a different class. There's bragging rights here. But like you said, I do call some BS because Cody is coached by...
Well, if you look right behind them, you got P10, 11, 12. So you got those two battling for position, then you got 10, 11, 12. They're going to try to come through here as we go into the last couple laps.
Yeah, and Cassette
Castro almost
by.
He almost got into the side of Castro.
That final lap?
Oh, Stassiv on Sadie.
Oh, no.
Stassiv's got the outside. He's going to try to... Oh, no, he backs out. Sadie runs a little deep. Sadie will live to fight another lap.
Yeah, Joe Server is back. Which... It's a lot of people that came back from previous, like, digs. I haven't seen him around in a while.
Yeah, man.
So Riley... Whoa.
Oh, Castro runs way right.
When I'm bored with Riley, he just decides to go off-roading a little bit as he was catching up to Sauer.
Fun. Oh, Castro tries to take a dive and runs Diggs off the track. That is not going to be good. Is he going to replay?
I feel like ACC's camera cuts are extremely annoying.
Oh, they're terrible.
I feel like a lot of the broadcast tools of ACC are really annoying. I mean, it's not like this game was made for esports, you know, or marketed as such. So Carl Big officially wins the race by 34 seconds.
Okay, here comes your Castro replay.
Castro off the circuit.
As they're coming into that hard right-hander.
I think he just missed his braking point. I don't think that was intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Diggs loses out big time on that one.
Yeah, Nick, this game is esports ready. As you very well know.
Absolutely.
Yep. So Blaine Hall actually got past Stassiv. I kind of missed that in the whole kerfuffle. So Stassiv dropped down to P7. With Blaine Hall between him and Sadie now. So they're going to finish in that order. Riley's
going to get caught behind Cassette.
So he's not going to be able to make a move on Sauer here. That's got to be frustrating. I think he had some pretty good pace too. But Cassette's just hugging the back of Sauer around the last chicane, and yeah, there's not much you can do here.
So Diggs, Sauer, Riley, Billingsley are going to finish. And that's everybody but Bjorn Durand has crossed the line. Durand across the line. So we lost Groom, Curzon, Fantazi, Alvarado, Ramon, Watts, and Tate.
Yeah, so your top 10, Big, Jackson, Beveridge, Warren, a newcomer, Sadie, Hall, Stasov. Stasov isn't really a newcomer, but he's a newcomer in the series. Jorgensen, who is new, Saavedra, who is new, and Castro. So we got, what, 4 people? Excuse me, 4 people that are brand new in the top 10. We
have some extracurricular in the in-game chat. So
big oof on the on that one.
14 cars on the lead lap, which is I think fewer than I was expecting.
Yeah,
I didn't expect Carl Big to win by such a margin.
Of
35
course, my game
seconds
freezes on the replay.
35 seconds. I mean, a lap here is a minute 30, minute 29, minute 28, depends on who you are.
Yeah, I feel like Carl just ran away with this.
He has the right car. He's obviously a very fast driver. I think this is ideal situation for him.
Yeah, I was in he started his stream early today, and I was in there as he was talking about it. He said this is the track that he feels like his car was going to excel at the most of the season.
Oh, wow.
So,
Blaine Hall. Sorry, I'm just looking at the replay here. Blaine Hall had a really, really good pass on Stasov on pretty much the last lap.
He absolutely just send it.
So here he is coming out of the first chicane. Just gets a really good exit. Just goes around the outside, going to the second chicane, and just holds it.
So did Stasov get held up by Sadie just enough for Blaine to get a run on him?
Oh, and Stasov actually does tap Blaine a little bit, and they bump again.
Oof.
Blaine's just not giving that up, though.
Oh, they're just bumper cars out there.
Green light, give it all you can.
Yeah. I mean, that's last lap. Take whatever you can get, I guess. Man.
Well,
is there somebody we can raid?
Yeah, our race winner.
Send him over to Mr. Carl Big.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for joining. We will see you next week at Nürburgring.
If you're interested in these races, ! Discord in the chat. We have Monday night multi-class. We have a 2.4-hour endurance series that we're doing. We're going to have more multi-driver team swap races.
Yep.
This particular series is full as of right now, but I imagine we will have some spots open up possibly as the weeks go by. So join the Discord, get on the conversation.
We do iRacing events, Wreckfest, R Factor sometimes.
Yep. If it's got wheels, we'll drive it.
Yep. All right, well, thanks everyone. We will see what Carl is up to. Does anyone have his channel name?
Mr. Blackout 81.
Thanks. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. It's 5 p.m. on the Best Coast.